Hello, beautiful ones. I am here with the weekly reading Wednesday again this week. Thank you all so much for your requests that I put out a call for requests yesterday, and I've had so many and heaps of private messages as well. More than happy for the private messages because, of course, when it comes to our health, sometimes we like to keep things not in a public forum, and that's absolutely fine. I understand that. So feel free to keep the requests going and keep the, oh, hi, Tanita. Keep the requests going and keep the private messages coming with more requests if you want to, and keep that other request post going, but feel free to just keep sending them because I'm adding them all to a really big list to work my way through. And today I have tuned into the collective energy and what is coming through very powerfully, both through my clients, and it was on the list, but also just in that collective energy and this build-up, this build-up that's coming to Christmas, of course, and Thanksgiving in America, which is very soon, is anxiety. What I want to talk about today is anxiety, because that is what is moving through me to come out to you today. And I feel very, very strongly the sensations and the physical symptoms of anxiety coming through as I'm talking now. My heart starts to pound, that pounding heart, that racing thoughts, that feeling of worry or stress or anxiety. But beyond just worry and stress, we all experience worry and stress. What makes it anxiety is that when it gets to the point that we are so worried and so stressed that it affects our ability to function in normal life, meaning we choose things, we avoid things that are going to cause us anxiety or bring us into that state, and it can have an effect on our relationships, our jobs, our ability to study, all of those sorts of things. So anxiety is incredibly common. 1 in 4 people in Australia alone have anxiety, and 1 in 3 women, 1 in 5 men, sorry. So the average is 1 in 4 people. It's interesting that it's more common in women. And at any given 12-month period, any given year, there are 2 million Australians, just in Australia alone, 2 million people suffering from anxiety, diagnosed anxiety disorder. So that is a lot. That's a huge percentage of the population. So this is a very common issue. And I want to speak to it from the energetic perspective today, because it can be treated, of course. And if you are suffering from anxiety, I strongly urge you to reach out for help, because there is a lot that can be done. And there is a huge support network in terms of counsellors and psychologists who can support you through this journey. But looking at that energetic side, it's a part of how we can bring in that support for ourselves as well, to heal, to actually get through this and perhaps not experience the anxiety again. And of course, there are many different kinds of anxiety disorder that is included in this umbrella. So generalized anxiety disorder is the main group that's diagnosed with anxiety. But there's also social anxiety, panic disorders, phobias, obsessive compulsive disorder, and post-traumatic stress disorder also have anxiety components. So this energetic message applies to all of the above. And now tuning into the energy of the collective to really get a feel for what is coming through when it comes to anxiety. And it is very much, speaking loud and clear today, what you are feeling if you've been suffering from anxiety is a real disconnect between where you are now, seeing yourself to be, and where you feel you should be. A disconnect between where you are now, where you see yourself as being, and where you see yourself as where you should be now. Whether that is in parenting, whether that is in work, whether that is in your relationships, whether that is in your life in general, in terms of your age and your life journey, whether it is in your health, whether it is in your career or your ability to recover from a traumatic event, you see yourself as not being where you should be, that it is a problem where you are at, and there is suffering there, because the size of that gap between where you are and where you should be, where you think you should be, is the size of the anxiety or the depression or the suffering that you feel. So you are actually able to see the gap by how intense your symptoms are. You can see how big that gap is. So what is really strongly coming through is that you need to go into, if you've been suffering from anxiety or you know somebody who has, then invite them to go into a state of total presence. And this is very difficult to learn in the early stages when you are suffering from anxiety. But what we need to do in this state is to separate ourselves from our thoughts, to separate ourselves from our emotions and our feelings, and realize that we actually are not either of those things. We are separate to those things. They aren't us. They are clouds that move through the sky. We can watch them. We can observe them. They aren't facts. And it's when we create that distance between what's going on inside our heads and what's going on even inside our own bodies, and realize that our consciousness is separate to those things. Because we can observe, we can sit in that role of the observer, and we can watch, and we can remain out of judgment, but we can actually watch what is going on. That is where we get the power, that power to sit in observation of what is happening in our heads, in our thoughts, and making that space, creating that space is where you will find your peace. Because in that space, you realize you are not your thoughts, that your thoughts are not controlling you, that they are not actually facts, they're not reality, and that you actually have the power to choose how you feel in any given moment. You are not the victim of your own thinking. So going into that total state of presence, and by which I mean being fully present in this moment now, because all we have is now. Everything else is an illusion. We do not have anything other than this. Yesterday is an imaginary concept, and tomorrow is, I love all the hearts. Hello, lovelies. I love it. My favorite people are all here. Tomorrow is absolutely an illusion, because when we get there, it's not tomorrow anymore. It doesn't exist. All we have is this moving moment, this constant moment that we stay in now. And if we stay in worries of the past or dreams and ruminations of the future, then we are staying out of reality. And in this moment now, there is no suffering. I invite you to look at this moment right now. And yes, there may be issues, there may be pain, there may be, but right at this very second, are you suffering? And if you can say, no, right now I'm not, but tomorrow I will be, or because of this, I'm in pain, or because of what happened to me in my childhood, or because of what's going to happen tomorrow, or so-and-so said to me this, those are not real. I invite you to approach them from that respect. They are not real. Those thoughts are not real. You are going into an imaginary future and an imaginary past that aren't in this present moment. So total presence is bringing yourself into this moment and living there in the bliss of this moment. And in that moment, you can become the observer of your thoughts. And as you observe your thoughts, stay out of judgment. Just look at them and say, that's interesting. I'll let it go now. And allow them to pass through you, and realize that you are in this place. You are experiencing exactly what you need to for your path towards awakening. Right now, what you are experiencing is exactly what you need. It does not mean that you need to suffer. It does not mean that you need to be experiencing suffering. But what you are here to do is to realize where you are out of alignment. And this anxiety that comes, this gripping tightness in the chest, this difficulty breathing, these palpitations and this worry and obsessive thoughts that comes are a sign from your body that you need to reassess the importance you're placing on your thoughts and your ideas of how you should be showing up. Because how you are showing up is perfect. It is okay to be who you are. You must give yourself permission. You don't need it from anyone else. You must choose what you need to support you. Choose to ask for what you need. Don't spend so long trying to please everybody else, because you know what? They need to please themselves. That's not your responsibility. So stay out of pleasing others. Say, I want Thai for dinner. That's what we're having. Say, I don't want to go to that Christmas event because I don't feel comfortable there. Not because I'm going to go into anxiety, but simply, I don't really like those people, so I'm not going to go there. Or whatever it is for you, whether it's Thanksgiving lunch with your family, whatever it is for you. Go into that space of choosing from a place of power, not from a place of victim. Go into the space of choosing from a place of calm, peace, and presence. And you will find, if you stay in this present state, if you stay in this state of mindfulness, that you will be able to cope with so much more, that you will be able to branch out into things you never thought you could do before, that would normally have sent you into a tailspin of anxiety, because they no longer bother you when you stay out of the observer and you stay out of the self-talk of, I am not worthy to be here, I should be different to how I am. When you choose to stay out of that self-talk, then everything will start to open up for you. You observe that self-talk and you let it go. It's not who you are. None of those things are facts. So where you are right now is perfect for where you are supposed to be, for your journey. Do not judge it as needing to be different. Do not judge the past as needing to be different for what you need right now. What has happened has happened. You are in this present moment now. This is all that is real. And if you are not alive and fully mindful and present in this present moment, are you really alive at all? I invite you to live fully, to sink your teeth into the present moment, because that is the only place where you will feel bliss, you will feel joy, you will feel love, you will feel lit up from the inside out, and you will feel the peace that comes from knowing who you are without all of the thoughts and the noise and the chaos in your head. This is where your peace is. Please keep this conversation going. I absolutely love these videos. I love the conversations that come through afterwards, and I get so many wonderful messages privately as well from people who are finding this so helpful. So I'm keeping this series going, and I'm going to keep it going and going and going. So we'll see what comes up next, but absolutely share your stories, share your resources around anxiety to help others, share what has helped you, share what has perhaps cured your anxiety. And share with the group, because there are so many people coming into this group now. It's over 500 people on my page. Very exciting. So, and that is wonderful, wonderful, wonderful resource for you to share what's helped you. There are so many health related people that are on my page and who actually do watch my videos, and you all have such a wealth of knowledge and resources. So feel free to share links with me and anything that might be relevant to the group, and I'll see which ones will be suitable for the energy and post them on my page as well. Have a beautiful day, and thank you for letting me show up like this for you every week. I love popping into your life every week. Have a great day. Bye.